You are going to lose the case anyway because you lost the jury about 6 months ago already. And what is eventually going to come out is that young thug is innocent anyway. I am asking you to continue to focus on justice and ignore the haters. I am extremely proud of you.
And y'all may not even know what I'm talking about because I don't think either of you was copied on that email, but Miss Love was.
Fani gets scolded by the judge in the YSL trial. Fani, of course, engages in a lot of unethical behavior. This one she did in writing, which was very convenient for everybody. Very upsetting to the judge. And the story comes over from Law and Crime. The case, of course, is the YSL trial, and it's been a total disaster for a very long time. I want to walk us through what happened in court, but before we get there, let us explain what these emails look like, because we're going to need to see these emails before we hear the judge ream Fani. And so this is what came in to the court. You can see it was sent from somebody from the country of Germany. Here is the message that came in October 10th, just a few short days ago, 2024 at 5:12 in the morning. Email goes to Prosecutor Love, Adrienne Love. You know who she is. We also have the court is being copied. Earl Glanville. That is to the court, which happens, right? Civilians, citizens, people who are not part of the legal system will get the email addresses of the courts. When the courts get the emails, they forward them to the parties. Hey, this person sent in a letter. You know, if it's a victim, it should go to victim services, or, you know, all these different things, unless the court is asking for the letters. Everybody should be apprised of it, right? In other words, the judge is not going to get the email and theoretically just keep it to them. The judge needs to notify the other parties about what's going on, because it's supposed to be an equal system of justice where nobody has a knowledge advantage against the other party. So German person sends this message in and copies the prosecutor's office. Man, and I'm sure this German person is just having a field day with this. He's like, oh, this is so great, because obviously this is a great reaction to get, but sends it to Simone, Hilton Simone. Fani Willis gets copied on this, CC'd along with the court. Paige Whitaker. The subject is YSL RICO case. What are you doing? So this our German friend says, Dear Miss Love, what a nice way to start a letter. I have been watching your behavior for quite some time now, and I am wondering, how can you be so bad at your job after all these years of experience? The new judge, who was trying to help you, not as much as Judge Earl Glanville did initially, is fed up with you. Finally, you are ruining your career and what is left of the reputation of the Fulton County DA's office. Please just rest this case, or you will get into so much more trouble. Maybe you're going to lose your job and will have issues in finding a new one because your unprofessional behavior and your haphazard and unorganized ways of working are on display for everyone to see. Please just do the right thing. You are going to lose the case anyway because you lost the jury about 6 months ago already. And what is eventually going to come out is that young thug is innocent anyway. He is not Pablo Escobar, but you are acting like it. Just stop it, please, Miss Love. Kind regards from Germany to Fulton County. Then Fani got that delivered to her inbox. And you know Fani, she's the biggest Fani in Georgia. She cannot let that stand. So she replied to it just as a mature person would. And you could even ask yourself that if somebody sent you a message like that at your business or in anything that you do you engage with that? Or is that just a troll? Of course, Fani takes the bait because Fani, that's what she does. So from Fani Willis, she responds, sent Thursday, October 10th at 10:38 a.m. She responded in about 5 hours, pretty quick, from Fani Willis. Not doing much else, probably just waiting for her next cruise. So she bangs out a response on this, replies from Fani Willis to Adrienne Love, copies probably the rest of her staff, maybe copies Nathan Wade on there. Hey, check this out, baby. But she copies the court. Because this is going to go and be a part of the public record. And she knows that. Fani knew what she was doing. She also copies other people in her office. And so Fani Willis bangs out this response. Fani T. Willis, she, her, District Attorney, Atlanta. She writes, Miss Love, please ignore this foolishness. As you know, the elected District Attorney, me, is extremely proud of you and believes you to be a huge asset to this office and our community. You have no chance of losing your job, and your service is greatly appreciated. Folks who have never tried cases will always have nasty things to say, but while they criticize from the sidelines, they fear the arena. They are not risking life and limb to keep our community safe. Let me tell you an anecdote of encouragement this morning. A good friend of mine called this weekend and said she was in an Uber, and the Uber drive randomly began talking about being from Memphis Dallas and how much violence there was in Memphis. She said the Uber driver said in Memphis they do not have the ability to do RICO. She said, "I am so proud of our DA here in Atlanta and her YSL team. They are not afraid and they are fighting for justice." I tell you this random anecdote that definitely happened to encourage you to brush your shoulders off and keep your eye on the prize, which will always be justice. Please know that your boss gets 100 nasty messages and 100 nice messages a day. I focus on one thing every day, representing my community in a way that is fair. I am asking you to continue to focus on justice and ignore the haters. I am extremely proud of you. Now go make it an amazing day. Yours in service, Fani T. Willis, she, her, in response to the email. And so the judge didn't like that one bit, not at all. And here is what that exchange sounded like when this was brought up in court in front of all of America to see.
Appreciate you forwarding to us the ex parte communications you received from Madam DA Fani Willis. Given the sensitivity and the history in this case of ex parte meetings or maybe communications, would you just please request the state? I understand probably what was behind that communications, and of course it is great for a boss to buck up underling who has perhaps been attacked or maligned, but I don't believe that, and I don't think the court does either, that the court should have been copied on that communications, especially one that reads maybe more like a campaign ad with a source story in it. Then anyway, I just don't believe it was appropriate, and I would just ask you to please ask the state to halt any future communications ex parte they might want to have with this court. That's all I have to say. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, it's a shame that the court would even have to say something like that. But can you all please communicate to everybody in the DA's office to not have any sort of ex parte communications with the court? And y'all may not even know what I'm talking about because I don't think either of you was copied on that email, but Ms. Love was. Ms. Hilton, you were as well?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I think we have a different perception of direct communication with the court, but we
But
will
the
make
court
sure
was
that
copied on it, and it could have been an accident, but
it wasn't.
Your Honor,
it should have been careful.
But the state did not have the initial conversation with the court. That was
I
a
know
community member, and it was very much also was not a direct communication with the court. But we understand we understand what the court is saying.
It wasn't a direct conversation with the court. We were responding to a citizen in Germany, and we just happened to copy you. So leave us alone.
I take issue with any type of suggestion that this was not a direct communication with the court. It went from Madam DA Fani Willis to this court. It was a direct communication to this court. It was inappropriate. It was praising Georgia's RICO statutes to the court, which again was not appropriate, Your Honor.
Frankly, I think it might be a good idea to print out the email and make it a court's exhibit to this record. But I think what Ms. Hilton was just saying was that the original communication was not from the district attorney's office. The original communication was, I don't know,
from Germany,
who this person is or where in the world they are, but some
are you out
member
there?
Of the world,
German friend,
member of the public, emailing Miss Love directly, but copying several other people, the court included, because of course our email addresses are a matter of public record. And I basically ignored it and deleted it. But as you all know, because I forwarded the next communication to everybody, the elected DA, Ms. Willis, made a decision to respond, and
she can't even believe it,
directed that response to Ms. Love, but kept everybody, including the person who had made the original email communication and the court on her response to Ms. Love. And I believe that to be ex parte, and that is the reason why as soon as I read it, I had Ms. Persifield forward it to all counsel.
Amazing.
I don't think that should be going on.
No.
I certainly appreciated that, Your Honor.
And the court really has ignored entirely the substance of the communication because the court is not making any decisions based on whether I think the RICO statute is good or bad. That's not what judges do. The legislature enacts statutes. I apply them hopefully correctly.
And I have no
or
concern.
whether anybody thinks any attorney is doing a good or a bad job. I'm just sitting here trying to follow the law.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about any impact on the court from that communication. Yeah. It's just the communication itself. Thank you.
So, Ms. Persifield, if you don't mind printing that out. And I have no idea what court exhibit number we're on, but if somebody can figure that out, we'll number it, court's exhibit number, whatever the next one is. Do you know?
Your Honor, our numbering system is broken down by act, which is why we have the different letters. So.
Oh, no. Court exhibits.
I will check that, Your Honor.
We don't, Your Honor.
I don't know either, but somebody Somebody does. The court reporter, or the last court reporter, maybe. But anyway, we'll get that figured out and make that a court's exhibit. I'm going to give them a chance to take a look at it and digest it and respond.
All right, so I think they burned that clip out. All right, so it kind of just peters out from there. But Fani Willis gets scolded, and rightfully so. In my opinion, she knew exactly what she was doing. So she sent that letter back so that everybody could take and read her position on it, saying that she's incredible. She gets 100 nice messages. They're doing an amazing job, vouching for her office, vouching for her prosecutors, and literally responding to this guy, which is really just unbecoming of the biggest Fani in Georgia. She should be above the trolls, not engaging with them. But that's Fani for you. She can't ignore it. Now, meanwhile, elsewhere in Georgia, the state election board is under attack. We've seen this board demand that Fulton County deliver records from 2020 that they've been burying for years now. And now the board is being attacked by others. They say that they're engaged in inappropriate and unprofessional behavior. And so they said our job is to clarify the law. And so they've actually been sued. The 3 Republicans haven't shied away from changing election procedures. And this guy's a Waffle House executive and has been fighting against them. So we're going to keep our eye on what's happening in Georgia because we're waiting for some other decisions. Some litigation has been filed. But Fulton County continues to be a mess. Fani gets scolded again. We'll keep our eye on it. Thanks for subscribing as we do.